Hey there, it's great to have you back for our next adventure, exploring the Wairarapa. Get ready for some changeable weather, plenty of friendly locals, and of course, some spectacular views. We take you for a drive along the wild and windy south coast up to Cape Palliser, and then on to check out the epic Putangirua Pinnacles. Here is Lucy in our beast of a Toyota Echo to tell you more.
The Putangirua Pinnacles is really cool, like rock formation that's formed from like erosion.
The drive to Cape Palliser began so well, with blue skies and the promise of another 23-degree lovely summer day. Once we hit the coast, it became very clear that we should have packed better wet weather gear. Dark, stormy clouds loomed in the distance and a windy drizzle met us at the dramatic, rugged coastline. As we drove along the coast, we were lucky enough to spot several herds of seals, and we stopped to stretch our legs and take some photos.
We carried on through the small fishing village of Ngawi, popular with both recreational and commercial fishermen. Ngawi is best known for its extraordinary number of bulldozers, all put to good use to drag the multitude of fishing boats out to sea.
Colin can attest to how good the local cod and crayfish is, although he hasn't quite got accustomed to the taste of paua. He thinks it's awful. Crayfish is a bit of a specialty in New Zealand. However, Colin has managed to eat loads of it. I think because he was a guest, my dad managed to source lots of them.
They are sought after though, and this is one of the area's main exports. There are no shops in Ngawi, but some good roadside takeaway options available to grab a bite to eat.
We arrived at Cape Palliser Lighthouse and began our ascent. All 258 steps worth. Don't worry, we've sped up the footage so you don't have to listen to us huffing and puffing our way up. Although it's steep, we highly recommend the short walk, as the views from the top were amazing.
We looked out upon the bay, spotting seals and huge waves crashing into the rocks. Of course, we also enjoyed walking around the historic lighthouse. It's not my favourite that I visited so far in New Zealand. That award goes to the Castle Point Lighthouse, also found in the Wairarapa, due to its epic location. The Cape Palliser one definitely has its own quirky charm though.
We then jumped back in the car and made our way to the Pinnacles. The weather had cleared up massively and we had high hopes that we would be in for a dry walk. We parked up and decided on our route. You can choose to complete the lookout walk only, which takes you to a spot you can overlook the Pinnacles, or the riverbank walk, which takes you to the bottom of the Pinnacles.
Of course, you can do both like we did, but be sure to set aside a good 2.5 to 3 hours to give yourself enough time. We set off along the bush route, and after nearly 2 weeks of being in New Zealand, I finally encountered my first silver fern. I thought they were real cool, and can see why they are the symbol associated with New Zealand. Because the foliage was so dense, it was difficult to see any of the surrounding hills, although it at least gave some shelter from the drizzle, which had re-emerged after the day looked like it had improved.
Maisie was having the time of her life and was having an internal battle between wanting to be the leader of the pack, but also wanting to keep an eye on where my mum was, who was trailing behind. The Putangirua Pinnacles is a geological formation that attracts tons of visitors every year due to its epic extraterrestrial appearance. And for all you Lord of the Rings fans out there, you may recognise this as the location selected by Peter Jackson and his team for the scene to depict the awe-inspiring paths of the dead in Return of the King.
After around 45 minutes of slogging it out, we made it to the top, where we finally got to see what we were waiting for: the Pinnacles.
from up above was real impressive. I think seeing them from this angle really shows just how huge the area truly is. We really had to see them up close and personal, so we continued our journey down.
These huge imposing towers of rock looked like giants had built them like sand castles. In fact, around 7 to 9 million years ago, the mountain ranges were an island surrounded by sea. Over time, the land rose up, forming the land that we walk on today. These crazy earth pillars were formed by wind and water running down the rock, creating this unreal scenery. We decided to do the walk sort of in the inside of the pinnacles. So instead of where we just were on the lookout, where you sort of look downwards at everything, we're now going to go through the middle. It's really hard to show you the exact height of these things, or the sheer size of them, because they're just so big and the camera doesn't really make things look as big as they are.
This place is mega and so worth braving the windy roads to reach it. We highly recommend everyone and anyone to come and see it for yourself if you're in a position to do so, as the cameras really don't do it justice.
We made our way down the riverbed, which is a nice walk and probably the better way down, as you get a few more nice views to conclude the day. New Zealand really is a place that just keeps on giving.
Thank you for watching. This concludes our time in the Wairarapa. Join us next time as we fly to the South Island to travel around in our bright green juicy van.
Bye-bye.